Welcome to another Man v Mob mini episode, and this one is about the company man. Have you ever heard of that term, the company man? If you haven't, it's basically the notion that back during the 50s through the, I don't know, let's say 90s through maybe the early 2000s, still exists to some extent today. It was generally expected that you could do pretty well by basically just um, working hard and dissolving your individual identity at work, basically being a cog in a machine and not being controversial, not being particularly creative, but being somebody who was reliable. And there was an era where you could do very well doing that. You could climb the company ladder. You were seen um, as somebody who could be counted on and who wouldn't rock the boat and who was stable, and you could rely on prosperity as a result. It was a time of implementation of these new systems that came into being in the post World War II era. Now, today we're moving into a new phase where it's going to be much better to be creative, to have a sense of innovation, to see a sense of potential, and to basically rock the boat. Because these same institutions that previously it was rewarded to um, continue to protect and to secure yourself within are collapsing and falling apart, and the people who are first to see that and to try to come up with something new will be the ones who are most rewarded in this new era. Although I do think that the notion, there's a great book that I just finished the other day called The Seventh Sense, and it's basically about seeing this era for what it is, which is an age of networks where everybody is connected and everything is connected to everything else. That is the nature of our times, and the old era was more defined by institutions, and they had rigid protocols and hierarchies and bureaucracies, and the network era is going to be entirely different from that. And thriving within the network era is going to require uh, flexibility. It's going to require agility. It's going to require adaptability. It's going to require collaboration, critical thought, all of these things that are free and creative and unconstrained by institutional pressure. And you're going to see an immense counter response to try to preserve the the institutions and the systems that have existed and which define the old order. And it's going to be really it's going to be the responsibility of the people who have this, as the book describes, seventh sense, as I'm saying, this notion of creative effort to bring about and to team up and to network and to push back against the counteroffensive and to bring about the new way of operating society effectively. Life is going to take on all types of new forms and new ways of thinking, and we need to start connecting our minds to each other, not in the Elon Musk way yet of actually connecting computers into our minds, but intelligent people need to engage with each other in conversations. And I think that the new form of education and collaboration, as I've talked about, is going to be composed of loose networks of TED Talks and podcasts and documentaries and investigative journalists and YouTube creators. And the new era of technology and of opportunity is going to allow those with a creative notion to have their own outlet and to put something out into the world and to really get a sense of meaning rather than just crushing themselves down to fit in arbitrary corporate structure and maintain the conformity and exactness of an institution as it has existed for decades. stay attuned to this phenomenon because you will start to see it everywhere and get excited, talk to other people about it, engage in the conversations, start to write your ideas down. Because I just released a video, or I just recorded one, about how the things to come, what might go down, are going to be troubling and very difficult in the short term. But on the other side of that, we're going to be building and constructing and creating, and it's going to be at an individual level, and it's going to be at a societal level. There's going to be a new sense of civic initiative and coming together, and all the petty bullshit and the survival instinct that has taken over during this crisis is going to start to fade away, and we're going to be creating something entirely new. So that will fill you with meaning and purpose, and it's best to start thinking about it now. So join the conversation.